And start the recording. Welcome to Bibleli, and I'm really happy to see you all. Today, Ezekiel 8 with 929, and you can see that some friends that we haven't seen for a while join us. So let's say hello to Della. Della, how are you?
Shalom. I'm good. It's good to see you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, everything is okay. The computer is okay. Your family.
Yes, my family's good, and we're under quarantine, so I can't go out. I have to stay in, but that's okay. My daughter set my computer up at her house. I have a brand new computer that my kids bought me, and so it's much easier to use. And hopefully, it'll be easier on my eyes. My eyes are giving me still some trouble, but it's great, and it's so wonderful to be back.
Yeah, we're really happy. Yofi. Yofi, my friend, and you're more than welcome to bless us. Um as Jackie wrote, Zoom is overload since the, the whole world is zooming. Yeah. Uh, Today I had 3 meetings with Zoom with my teachers in high school, and also one Zoom with you and one Zoom with Europe. It's a Zoom day. And Della, you're more than welcome to bless us. בבקשה.
Okay, thank you. Kimala haaretz de'a et Adonai kamayim layon nekosim.
Amen. Amen, dear friend. And after meeting Ezekiel last week in a beautiful chapter 1, in a nutshell, in chapter 2, Ezekiel was commanded to eat a scroll. This is the scroll that relates to the word of God, and God feed him with this scroll in chapter 3. In the next chapters, God is giving Ezekiel more and more information about the people. And in chapter 8, that was the choice of rod, Ezekiel started a spiritual journey to Jerusalem. Spiritual is physical, because it seems to be, when we are going to read this chapter, that every time there is a description, we are there, Ezekiel and us. So let us see what we have here. Della, you're more than welcome to start. בבקשה.
Okay. Vayehi bashana hashishit bashishi baka misha lak desh ani yoshev bevet he Vezik ne Yehuda Yoshvim Lefanei Vatipol Alav Sham Yad Adonai Va'eret El Vehine Demut Kemar Esh Mimar Mat Nai Bul Mata Esh. I'm nervous. I haven't done this for a while. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Umimat Nav Ul Ma La Kemar Zoar Ke'en Ha Shemala. Thank you for your patience.
And it's okay. Thank you very much, Della. And
I'm shaking. I was excited to come, and I've studied all week, and it was just I was nervous. Thank you.
it's okay. You've done well, dear friend. Everything is okay. And dear friends, as we said, Ezekiel started his prophecy uh, on the fifth year, in the fifth year that relates to the exile of Joachim. So every time he speaks about a year, so we are going to take it to 597, 598 before Common Era. This is the small exile, or the exile of the VIP, or the exile of Joachim, the king, from Jerusalem with the important people. So on the sixth year, in the sixth, which is the month Elul, the first is Nisan. In the Bible, the first month is Nisan. This is actually the time that is defined by the Lord. The first relates to the time that we went out from Egypt. On the fifth day, we can see that I was sitting in the house, in my house, and the elders of Judah is sitting in front of me. This is something which is really interesting. Usually the prophet is going outside, speak to people in an important place. Here we can see something which is really intimate in his house, of course, this is in Babylon. And the elders of Judah, this is the elders that were exiled. And there, just one moment, what is this? The elders of Judah were sitting, and there we can see the hand of God, the hand of the Lord fell there upon me. The hand of the Lord, this is going to be the instrument that will take Ezekiel to journeys in the book of Ezekiel. And one more time we can see that he sees something. The vision that we've discussed last week, the imageries that we've imagined continued here. And of course the chariot, or what we're calling in Hebrew Merkava, one more time we can see that someone is taking him, someone is giving him the ability to see those sights. By the way, once we have Adonai and then the Lamb of the Lord, we're saying Adonai Elohim according to the tradition of reading. Just a moment, Alex. Yes, Alex, בבקשה.
So this Ke'ein Hahash Mala. Ein, is it I?
Yeah, this is a description which is really powerful, and as we spoke last week, with many colors and imageries. This is a kind of expression. The word chashmal has some significance. Some translate this as
Hashmal, is it ember?
Yeah, this is one option of understanding. This is according to the Septuagint. Chashmal is also relates to light, relates to fire, because every time we can see this word in Ezekiel, it's not a word that is so typical in the Bible. It relates to fire. Some said it's a kind of an angel that is hairy, chash, and speaking, mal, memalmel in Hebrew. In modern Hebrew, by the way, chashmal is electricity. So
oh yeah. So I've seen such translation that it was like a spark of electricity, electra. It's even in Septuagint, I think it's electra.
Electron.
But this expression ein hash mala sounds like ein gadi, for example. So it's like a drop maybe of that gum, of that ember, no?
Not always ein relates to I or to water source. Here we can see it with an expression that creates something that relates to fire. Here it relates to amber. As I said before, all the sites that we're seeing, and for that reason, when we speak about the translation, in this kind of cases, I would say the translation also try to imagine and to explain the words, but it's not always easy to understand them. This is what makes this a vision so unique, because
Yeah,
it's
but
more of your
for
imageries.
you, is it understandable? What is his aim?
I'm sorry?
But for you, for Hebrew-speaking people, is it understandable? What is it?
No, no, I must say, yes, it's in English, it's also in Hebrew. It's not something, it's not a typical expression in the Bible that you can understand. And even more, I would say that there is no sign, for example, from other languages that can help you. It's an expression of imagery that relates to light, and it's even worse for a Hebrew reader, because what you think is the modern Hebrew, not the biblical Hebrew. And in the biblical Hebrew, Chashmal appears only here and in chapter 1, and that's it. So you have to guess more than understand. This is what I said about this vision. Okay?
Yeah.
בבקשה. And as I mark,
Bavakasha.
yeah, Shalom Claire.
Shalom, everybody.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I hope everybody else is too. I've been sewing face masks for 3 weeks now, and anyway, but it was a blessing. I made enough money to buy a new washing machine.
Ah,
Anyway, my question or my observation about this is it says that the appearance of his loins even downward is fire, so that's in the orange-yellow spectrum. And then the from his loins upward, the appearance of brightness, the color of amber. And in a rainbow, those colors sit side by side on the light spectrum. I just thought I'd mention that, just
יפה,
for
יפה
interest's
מאוד.
sake.
נכון.
Thank you.
And as we've seen last week, it was like the rainbow in the sky in a day of rain in Ezekiel 1 chapter verse 28. This was actually the summary of the side that Ezekiel was. And one more time he's in the plane. One more time God is going to take him, and let's see how it continue. And Claire, you're more than welcome to read it to us. בבקשה. Claire, are you with us?
1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. וישלח תבנית יד ויקחני בציצית ראשי ותישא אותי רוח בין הארץ ובין השמיים ותביא אותי ירושלמה במראות אלוהים אל פתח שער הפנימית הפונה צפונה אשר שם מושב סמל הקינה המקנה והנה שם כבוד אלוהי ישראל Kamara, excuse me, I have to move the photographs of everybody's cute faces here. Okay. Kamare Asher Raiti Babik.
יפה מאוד, excellent. תודה רבה. And what we can see here, few interesting ideas in these verses. First of all, there is a hand or a form of a hand that took him and lifted him and brought him to Jerusalem. We can see Yerushalayim and Safona. This is the hay of direction to Jerusalem, to north. And something which is really interesting, if you can't see these two words, B'marot Elohim, you won't understand that this is a spiritual journey and not physical one. It's not that Ezekiel was brought to Jerusalem and physically it was there. No, it's something that relates to sight. It's a vision. But from one hand, it's a vision, but it's like a virtual journey that has, if we try to think today, that we are in a museum, and we are taken to see all the pictures. And I think that in this chapter, as in many places in the Bible, you're feeling that you are in the situation and you are with the character, because the description is really specific. It took him to the door of the inner gate that looked toward the north, and there was the seat of what I'm going to speak about, Semel HaKinah Makne. Well, Kinah is of course jealousy, but in this point, I think that the translation is really literal. And when we look at the word Semel in the Bible, when it relates to idols, so in the book of Kings, we can see that Menashe was maybe the king that sinned the most in Judah. He put the idol or the statue of the Asherah, inside the courtyard, inside the temple. And once we are reading it in the book of Chronicles, we can see that the word pesel replaced in the word semel. And probably this is what Ezekiel saw. It's related to the context.
What the difference, please?
I'm sorry?
Pesel. What's the difference between pesel and semel?
Okay, so semel is kind of a model or a sign, but in Chronicles, once we are reading about the statue that Menashe brought to the temple, so then the word replaced by semel. So if statue in the book of Kings replaced in the word semel in Chronicles, also here probably the word semel means the same statue. And since this chapter is like a festival of idols, as we're about to see, festivals of idols from all the Near East, because the Astrid is a goddess that came from the Canaanite mythology from the north. We can read it, for example, in Ugarit inscriptions, that is in Syria. And we are about to see Dumuzi today, and also Shamash, who were idols from the east and the south, from Egypt and from Babylonia. So,
but this image, looks special. It provokes jealousy. It's some outrageous.
As I said, since the translation is literal, and okay, it's literal because kin'ah relates to jealousy, but the word semel itself relates to the goddess of fertility, who is the Astrat. So, of course, the translation is literal, but it's not according, as I said, to the Hebrew words, for example, that we can see in Chronicles. When you translate a text, you can take it to of course, the literal words as the word is translated, or you can take it to the context of understanding the word in the Bible. And the word semel in the Bible, one of the translations is the asterisk. Okay. And of course, it relates to commentary. And as a translation is a kind of a commentary, because you need to give the understanding of the words. So this is a spiritual journey that looks like physical, and it's really important. Once Ezekiel is coming to a specific place, and in this specific place, he's going to see a festival of idols in this chapter. It's like a carnival of idols, of course, forbidden ones, but from the other end, when you look at this chapter, you can see some directions and understanding of the idols and the sins of the people. And from the other hand, there was the glory of the Lord as the sight that he has seen in the plain, which relates to the temple as the house of God. Not the physical, but the spiritual, in the house for the name of God. And always we are going to take us back to the first sight that he saw in the plain. We are going to see it also in the dry bone visions in Ezekiel 37. So spiritual that looks like physical journey is with Ezekiel, is taken by the wind. It's like that we are taken with Ezekiel together to see this important and beautiful vision that he's about to see. And now, Alex, since you were with us, you will read the next one. Go ahead.
Beginning. Vayomer Eli, Ben Adam, Sana Einecha, Derech Tzafana, Va'asa Einain Derech Tzafana, Vahine, Mitzafon Lesha'ar Hamizbeach, Sefel HaKin'a Hazeh, Bia. Vayomer Elai, Ben Adam, Ha Roe Ata, Mahem Asim, Toevot Gdolot, Esher Beit Israel, Asim Po, Le Recheka, Me'al Migdashi, Va'ot Tashuf, Tir'eh, Toavot Gdolot.
יפה מאוד. And Ben Adam is going to be the nickname that Ezekiel is going to be called, Son of Man, in all this book. It started from chapter 2. In chapter 1, we didn't see it because there wasn't a prophecy. There was only a sight. And when you look, you can see one more time this idol, the astrate, and we can see the word Bi'ah. Bi'ah is entry, but it also has a sexual meaning in the Bible and also in the language of the Sangs of Israel. Until today, one of the words that describes sexual relationship is Bi'ah, is more a religious word than a word that we are going to describe in a slang. But it started from those days. And pay attention to a few interesting ideas here, because we can see Haroe, this is the hey of the question. Do you see what they are doing? And God is asking a question and giving the answers. It's not that Ezekiel is answering now. As the relationship will evolve, Ezekiel will speak. Until now, he's just going to see and to listen. In the next moments, we're about to see that Ezekiel is going to answer, and it's going to be in the next chapters. Chapters 8 to 11 are chapters that this vision is being brought to us, the vision of Ezekiel that was taken spiritually to Jerusalem to see the sins of the people and also their punishment. Pay attention to the word abominations, great abominations. We're going to see in the next verses also the word abominations that are going to repeat it. And the word to see, the seer, this is actually the first word for a prophet. When Saul went to look for the she-asses in 1 Samuel chapter 9, we can see there that when he looks Samuel, there is a kind of a message there that in the old ages, the name of the prophet Navi was the seer. So in this chapter, the root to see is really important, is the key word. And one more thing that I wanted to say is pay attention to the difference between hem, which is they, something that will distinct the people, and then to the word mikdashi, my sanctuary or my temple. When these expressions in the language can show us the distinction between the people of Israel and God. He has his temple, my temple actually, and this is they are doing the great abominations. So we are with Ezekiel in this spiritual journey, and we are trying to see, we are near to an idol, probably the Astrid or Asherah in Hebrew, the goddess of fertility in the Canaanite mythology. and there is something which is a question and answer, and now we are going to see more and more details of this vision as we are there, we and of course Ezekiel. So let us continue and say hello to Clancy. Clancy, how are you, dear friend? How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. How are you, your family?
Everybody is well, which is good. Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear. And how is there with the quarantine?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
The quarantine.
Oh, it gets old. I've tried to stay in. They're only supposed to go out for necessities, and so my niece and nephew bring me just about anything I want. And so 3 weeks in is a long time, but it's definitely better than those who are suffering from having the virus. Not fussing too much.
Thank you very, very much, and welcome back. And you're most welcome to read to us, בבקשה.
Okay, thank you. Vayave oti el petak.
Sorry.
I moved. Okay, there it is. Hey, katzer by ere vehine kor ehar nekar bakir vayomer elai ben adam hatar na bakir vaek tor ik bakir vahine petak a kad.
יפה מאוד, excellent. And we can see here too, actually the entrance of the court or the door of the court. There is a small hole there in the wall, and God is saying to Ezekiel, you just have to dig a little bit in the wall, and then there is you will see. What's so beautiful in this chapter is that it takes you really to the situation, and you're feeling with Ezekiel this journey. And I think that when we try to imagine this situation, we can see a wall and we can see a small hole. Just that we with Ezekiel, we're just digging in the hole and then we can see something. I think that this description makes the reader more close to the situation, and the imagination here is something that works, but it's something that we can see. It's not like in chapter 1 that we thought many ideas about the vision and how it looks like, and we try to paint the picture on our mind. Here it's something which is more specific. It's easy more to understand, and this makes this spiritual physical journey with Ezekiel really interesting. So thank you very, very much, Clancy, for your reading, and let's continue. And speaking with Jackie. Jackie, how are you, dear friend? Shalom.
Shalom, Ellie. How are you? I'm fine. I'm okay.
How was the last week?
It was pretty good. There was a big storm system that went through here on Sunday night, Easter Sunday night, and there were a lot of tornadoes in the whole South, and in the upper part of South Carolina where my parents live. There were lots of damage, but our farm is okay, so that's the good news. But 9 people were killed in South Carolina. It was just really, really bad storms. On top of everything else.
Yeah, I hope
So,
that everything would be okay, and I'm really happy to hear that your parents, they're okay.
yeah, they're okay. Thank the
you're
good
more
Lord.
than, yeah, and you're more than welcome to read to us, בבקשה.
ויאמר אלי בוא וראה את התועבות הרעות אשר הם עושים פה, ואבוא ואראה, והנה כל תבנית רמס ובהמה שקץ וכל גילולי בית ישראל מחוקה על הקיר סביב.
יפה מאוד. So, first of all, the expression "bo," come and see, or go and see, and those two verbs are actually, or those two roots are actually the two keywords of the text, because Ezekiel is coming and seeing what in this vision. And pay attention to the expression, the wicked abominations. Abomination, it's a bad word. So to say wicked abomination, it's like to double it. One more time, we can see the word that create the distinction, hem, it's they. And upon the wall is portrayed, as we can see, mechuket, the root is chet kof kof, it's what we're calling an ein verb, and it's around the wall or upon the wall, it's there, the idols, and it's like you are taken to a museum, like the Louvre or others, the British Museum, and you can see statues of different idols. This is the thought that I had when I read this chapter. I remember that we've been last year in Paris, sorry, 2 years ago, and then we've been in the Louvre, and we've seen many statues and inscriptions, and it's beautiful. This is what I felt when I read this chapter. Yes, Alex, בבקשה. Just one moment. Alex, yeah.
Yeah, so this is again, we can see Gilul, different image. Can you differentiate Gilul, Pesel, and what is Semel? Yeah, please.
I think the idea is that Gilul, by the way, comes from the word Gilalim. Gilalim is a word that relates to how can I say it? It's like a word that relates to the smelly things of the animals. So it's a word that tries to takes it down. Now, all the semantic range here of the words is taking you to the world of idols. So we've seen semel and we've seen gilulim, and then the other word that you mentioned, I forgot, the third one, images. All these words are from the same family of idols, of what we're calling avodah zarah, or other gods. So in the Bible, you can see, especially in the book of Kings, when you look at the sins of the king of Judah or the king of Israel, these words that describe what we're calling the other worships to other gods, not to the Lord. So this is the main idea. And in this chapter, you can see some of them. So these are the words. All of them are taken to what we can see in this chapter, to abominations. If abomination is the key word that describes serving other gods, in this chapter you can see examples. The examples are...
So this I think, the interesting idea that it getting more and more intensive. So one idol, another idol, and abdominal things. So it's the dramatization. So it's getting more and more intense. So we can feel God's feeling here. So
נכון.
how he feel? Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree with you in 110%. As you continue to read in this spiritual physical journey, you're not just in the situation, you understand it perfectly. It's a dramatic situation that every time you can feel you are coming and seeing yourself. And you have, a big word, abominations, and then you can see examples. Examples are by name, by the sinners, as we're about to see, and also with the different kinds of idols that you can see here. יפה מאוד, Alex, יפה. And I think that also Clay raised their hand. Yes.
I did, thank you. When I read that, it says they were portrayed upon the wall around about. When archaeologists began to uncover Egypt, they have all these wall murals, pictographs that told stories about the afterlife and about their gods and idols and their people. And when somebody portrays something on the wall, even today, when I put up something on my wall, it's something I'm proud of. It's something that I want to tell a story to my family with. And the things that they were portraying on their walls were abominable things. And it's somewhat shocking to me as the reader in this, and trying to look at it with fresh eyes, that, Ezekiel would go in and see these things that, that the children of Israel at that time they were proud of it. They were portraying them on the wall. They wanted to communicate them. And it's like he says in the previous verse, that they were at the entrance of God's temple. So here they are at the entrance, trying to interpose themselves between the people of Israel and the real God, the God that, who's not abominable, and it made jealousy. I mean, I know how I would feel if my daughter put something between me and her, and she wouldn't come to me, she'd go to something else, it's just, anyway, just,
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. And let us say hello to Victor. Victor, how are you, my friend? You're okay? Just one moment. Here.
You got me?
Here it goes.
Okay. As abomination is kind of interesting word because happens a couple times in the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus talking about the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Prophet Daniel in Matthew 24. So yeah, when I see abomination, it's a bad thing. Jesus mentions it.
יפה מאוד. Thank you very much. And Victor, you're more than welcome to read to us this passage.
Vashavim ish mitzikne Beit Israel Va'zanyahu ben Shapan Omed Ba'tokam Omdim Lapanechem Va'ish Miktarto Va'yado Va'atar Anan Hak Toret Olea Vayomer Elai Haraita ben Adam Asher Zikne Beit Israel Osim Ba'chadshek Ish Ba'chadre Miskito Ki Omrim En Adonai Roe Otanu Atzav Adonai Et Haaretz.
Now pay attention here. When you think about 70 people, it takes us to the 70 elders that came with Moses to Mount Sinai, and which is there is such a great sight, and it's something that is visual and everyone can see it. And now they're in a room, like in the darkness, doing secret things, and not even this, we can see even that they are saying and thinking, the Lord is not seeing us. He left the land. It's like they treat God as local and not universal. It didn't understand the idea of the Lord. So if until now we thought about statues, now here we can even smell this the incense of the incense here as it went up. And the Lord one more time is asking the question and giving the answer at this point. In the next chapter, Ezekiel also will ask and try to understand why God will punish most of the people. And I'm saying most of the people because in the next chapter, which is really interesting, on Sunday I'm giving a lecture about Ezekiel 8 and 9 to Hebrew readers. And in chapter 9, I really advise you to read it because there you can see, as in Passover, that there was something that create a sign who to kill or to destroy, not to destroy. Also there, it's really interesting with a word that appeared only there in chapter 9, keset. So on Sunday you can read it. And in this situation, the idea that the Lord is not with us, He left the land, He cannot seize us. One more time, we can see the seeing here, which is really important. And let's say hello to our different Doug. Doug, how are you?
I am now unmuted. I'm doing reasonably well, thank you.
Okay, we're really happy that you are with us, and you had a great verses with Tammuz or Dumuzi, who is the idol from the Babylonians, the Sumerian actually. Go ahead.
Thank you. Vayomer Eli Od Hashuv Tireh To Evot Gedolot Asher Hema Osim Vayave Oti El Petach Sha'ar Beit Adonai Asher El Hatzafona Vahine Sham Hanashim Yoshvot Vivakot Et HaTammuz.
יפה מאוד, excellent. And Tammuz is, by the way, the 5th month. Most of the names of the month in Hebrew were brought by the Jews that came back from Babylonian to Judah. So we have Tishrei, which relates to Tashritu, which is the beginning. For that reason, by the way, Tishrei would be in the Hebrew calendar the 1st month, but in the Bible it's not. It's Bible in this. It's the 7th month, and Tammuz relates to Dumuzi or Dumuzis, who was a Sumerian king that relates to. For one hand, he was a shepherd. From the other hand, he was in the Sheol for half a year, and then he came back to revive all the plants and the trees. So here the women, and we can see another group of sinners, and we've seen 70 elders people with the Yoziniao. Now we can see women, and they are crying, they are weeping for Tammuz. And they are there at the entrance of the gate of the house of God. Pay attention how the greater abominations continues and continues here. No matter where you touch in the temple, you will see group of people that creates and commits sins. And it's really important to understand it.
Slicha, what is this weeping for Tammuz? Is it some ritual?
Yeah.
So
the idea that the weeping for Tammuz in the Sumerian, the reason that the people were weeping for the Tammuz because he went to the Sheol, and then there was another goddess that replaced him, and then he came back and revived all the plants and the trees after you whip him. This is actually the ritual. So what is there is also here. This is the idea. Thank you. Great question, Alex. So we continue to see more and more and more abominations, no matter where we go, and it continues with this. And let's come back to where. Just one moment. let's come back to Jackie that would read to us, this one, בבקשה.
ויאמר אלי אחראית בן אדם, עוד תשוב תראה תועבות גדולות מאלה, ויבא איתי אל חצר בית אדוני הפנימית, והנה פתח הכל אדוני בין האולם ובין המזבח, כעשרים וחמישה איש אחוריהם אל הכל אדוני, ופניהם קדמה ודמה השתחוויתם, קדמה ושמש, לשמש, sorry.
יפה מאוד. And Dumuzi is from the east, from Sumeria, from Babylonian. The Astret is from the north, Syria, the Canaanite mythology. And now we can see to the sun, which is coming from Egypt. So it's different goddess from different places and different people here. It's 25 people, and they are, pay attention, they're back toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces, they worship to the sun. What can we say? As we continue to read, we understand abominations, abominations, abominations. That's what we can see in this chapter. And God is asking the questions and giving the answers, because it's a journey that no matter where you go, you will see these sins. And I think that unlike chapter 1, that we need to imagine a lot and understand only few from many things, here we can understand more and more, and it's coming more and more visual to us. And you just think of group of people in the temple, no matter where you touch in the temple, you will see sins, and you will see people that are not worshiping to the Lord, not for the Lord, only for others. And for that reason, we are going to see that they are going to be punished, as written in the next verses. ויאמר אלי הראית בן אדם? הנקה לבית יהודה מעשות את התועבות אשר עשו פה, כי מלאו את הארץ חמס. Pay attention, this expression is coming from Genesis 6. ותמלא הארץ חמס. This is the sins from the beginning of humanity. וישובו להכיסני, והינם שולחים את הזמורה אל אפם. זמורה, probably something that relates to smelly things. Also literally it's branch, but it's also could be something that relates to smell. And then in verse 18 that actually ends this chapter, וגם אני אעשה בחמה, לא תחוס עיני ולא אחמול, וקראו באוזני קול גדול, ולא אשמע אותם. This is what they have done to me, and I'm going to pay them back. I'm also going to be angry. There is no pity or mercy here. They will call me, but I won't listen to them. As God said to Jeremiah, don't pray for them, because I don't want to listen. So this is the same idea here. But unlike in Jeremiah, yes.
About the smelly thing that brought to the nose, or they put the branch to their nose. That reminds me of people who I'm sorry, that they smoke weed, or they don't put it to their nose, but under it to make the smell, and then, or like incense sticks, you burn them and you smell them. It's like to get you into a higher spiritual place or something in other religions. So that's kind of that imagery that made me think about. So, and it wasn't to the Lord. Okay.
Yeah, not for the Lord. This is this chapter. Yes, Alex.
Also about that branch, Hazmorah. Is it a real tree branch, or it's man-made, like smelly stick?
I think it's smelly sticks in this context because it's related to the nose. This is the reason.
So it's not a branch of tree.
No, the translation here is literal one more time, as we've seen it with the semel, also here. Also here. Not always the translation give you the correct understanding of the text.
Yeah, so in the Indian temples, a lot of such
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it's amazing to see how in one chapter we are all with Ezekiel here in this journey, in this spiritual journey, spiritual physical, because it's like we are there and we are looking at through a small hole and see such great abominations there that it's something that we can't forget. We can feel it, we can see it, we can smell it, and maybe we can hear the voice of those people that is going to be punished, but the Lord is not going to answer because of their sins. Well, dear friends.
As I remember, Ezekiel was at that time in Babylon. So, but the temple was destroyed already.
No, the temple will be destroyed because it's the 6th year of the exile of Joachim. It's in 592 before Common Era.
Okay. Yeah, so it's understandable, so that worship of Israel reached the lowest point, and God had no other option just to destroy it.
Nachon, there is no option. Nachon, you're correct. Victor?
Oh, you know, last week we did chapter 1. It was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. Is it possible? Are you gonna be able to put the recording online, or is it not able to?
No, unfortunately, for some reason the recording was not in Zoom. I don't know what happened. I wrote you also in the email, so unfortunately we don't have it. I can send you if you want, but it's in Hebrew. I can send you the
slides.
Yeah, I can send you the slides, of course, it's not a problem. And I had a Hebrew lecture on Sunday about chapter 1, 2, and 3. So if you want, I can send you the link, but it's in Hebrew, it's not in English.
Okay. Yeah, send me that. Okay, thank you.
No problem. I'm just going to do it now, just right after the lecture. And this was recorded, of course. Dear friends, thank you very, very much. As always, it's a pleasure to be here. Next week, Ezekiel 13. Yes, Alex?
About recorded webinars. So you sent the Zoom link, but I was not able to listen that recorded lesson. So somebody tried how it works.
No, last week the recording, for some reason I sent it, but there was an error because it was not recorded. I don't know why. But I'm trying to upload some of the recordings to YouTube so you can listen to it afterwards. But in any case, if there is a problem, please write me, Alex. We are really happy that you are with us. בבקשה, and just one moment. Della also raised her hand. Yes, Della.
Yes. If it would be possible, I'd like to have the slides too. I heard they were very, very good, and I missed it. I tried to find it, and I couldn't get it, the recording.
Okay, so I will send the slides to everyone just right now, just right after the lecture.
Okay, and will we get the recording for the day?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear friend. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you very, very much. As always,
Shabbat Shalom.
Here.
And if it's all in Hebrew, we'll get some more practice with our Hebrew. So Toda Rabah. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Bye bye.
Thank
you very, very much.